Thank you for joining us on another edition of Message Makers here on Forbes.com. I'm Jim Nichols. So happy to have with me today Tom Stewart. He's the Chief Marketing and Knowledge Officer at Booz & Company. Tom, thanks for coming on with us today.
Jim, great to be here.
So the first question, you are working marketing in an interesting area. We're talking about services. So what, in your opinion, is the greatest challenge in marketing a service?
Let me narrow it a little bit because I'm marketing professional services and in particular marketing high-end strategy consulting services. So there are, I think, a couple of challenges. Number one is the very intangibility of any service, right? It's I can show you a can of Coca-Cola. There are various things that I can do with a product placement, various other things I can do in marketing a product that are harder to do in general marketing a service. Secondly, the service we are marketing is unique in that every relationship is different. So again, if I'm marketing a service like, say, the Four Seasons Hotel, I might be able to say, this is the experience you will get at the Four Seasons Hotel, and the you is kind of the second person plural. It's the experience you all will get. But when we're talking about the kind of service that we deliver to clients, it's the service that you will get, and it's customized. It's not only customized; it's custom. It's very individual, and so it's A, intangible, B, very individual, and C, is truly delivered person to person in a room. More than it is delivered in any other way. Our most important marketers are the partners, principals, senior associates, and associates in a team room. They carry the brand.
How do you leverage all that experience and all that research that your company does in that process of educating people about what Booz & Company can do?
Well, we're a fairly considerable publisher in our own right. So that's one way in which we leverage. We own and publish Strategy and Business Magazine, which has a circulation of about 135 senior executives around 35,000 senior executives around the world. I can't remember 500,000 registrants on its website, a lot of email newsletters. So there's a fairly substantial publishing operation through Strategy and Business. We publish a lot of white papers. We have a pretty impressive track record of publishing articles by people in the firm at Harvard Business Review, Sloan Management Review, and other places like that. So I guess number one would be one way is the sort of publishing channel, which I think are like everybody else are sort of expanding into social media and other digital media. So we run a suite of email newsletters and we do the various things like that. That's one area. The other, then there are a bunch of other things, events and things like this that we're always in the business of, again, trying to get our people in front of those audiences who are the audiences that are important to us. The big question is what, from a marketing perspective, is A, what qualifies you? It's like standard marketing funnel question. What gets you into the consideration set? And I might get into the consideration set because I was in the same section in business school with you. I might get into the consideration set because you're an alumnus. There may be various things like that. But to us, one of the important ways of getting in the consideration set is, oh, that was something smart. That was interesting. Let's call them. Let's talk to them. And that, I think, is the primary role that we try to play with the thought leadership, is to try to use that as the thing that provokes the phone call, which ultimately, of course, provokes the deal.
It's almost like you have your own mini media empire there, so to speak. Of course, there's been a lot of changes in how information is consumed. Have you seen a lot of those changes in the thought leadership that you've tried to get out there, specifically with technology? So have you started to see one technology begin to work better than another?
I think there are two questions. Let's separate content from channel. If you take a look at channel, it's pretty clear that one moves from print to digital. It's pretty clear that one moves from, paper to PDF. It's pretty clear that that the mailings we do tend to be now emailings, and so you see a sort of a regular drumbeat of those things. It's also clear that you see both with the web and with social media, again, new ways of attracting people to click on something that downloads a file that was nevertheless still created in Word. So it may be digitally delivered, but it was still created in Word. What we're only at the beginning of seeing, I think, is what you might call multimedia native or digitally native content. So if you go on the Booz.com website, you will see, if you go to the drop-down menu under, I think it's what we think, and go to capabilities-driven strategy, which is an important initiative of the firm, you will see a bunch of interactive tools. You'll see a suite of 5 interactive tools that are web-based tools. Other people are doing things like this. We're doing that. Those sorts of profilers and interactive tools are, I think, a first toe in the water about what digital or truly new media-based content will be. There's a guy named Bob Bidet who works at a group called the Bloom Group in Boston, who says that the microsite is going to be the white paper of the 21st century. I'm not quite sure Bob is right, because the problem with the microsite is you can't push it. It's pull technology. So, we will be pulling people to microsites. People will be developing microsites. I'm not quite sure what the digital push technology is, but I think we're only at the very beginning. We and our confrères and competitors are only at the very beginning of figuring out what the digital content will be, or the new media content will be, as opposed to driving old media stuff through new media channels.
Well, Tom, it certainly is not an easy job there, but I encourage everyone who's watching to go onto the Booz website. Some fantastic materials being shared there. And Tom, it's been very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Jim, thank you.